very, very early. The father woke me up around 4 something this morning, and it's now 5:18. I was doing a little bit of reading from the Book of Mormon, and I'm on Jacob chapter 5. Now, I can't be too loud because I got neighbors and whatnot, and I'm not trying to wake them up, But I'm going to go ahead and get this part because he was pointing out to me, he was like, this connects to the parable of the fig tree. And as I was reading it, I'm like, oh my gosh, this makes a direct connection to the fig tree and, the olive tree, the natural branches and Israel. Like true Israel being grafted back into our natural branch, okay? And so this is going to give us more fullness. So let me go ahead and start in verse 38. So again, this is Jacob chapter 5, starting in verse 38. And it came to pass that Yahusha of the vineyard said unto his servant, Let us go down into the nethermost parts of the vineyard, and behold, if the natural branches have also brought forth evil fruit. And it came to pass that they went down into the nethermost parts of the vineyard. And it came to pass that they beheld that the fruit of the natural branches had become corrupt also. Yea, the first and the second, and also the last. And they had all become corrupt. And the wild fruit of the last had overcome that part of the tree which brought forth good fruit, even that the branch had withered away and died. And it came to pass that the Messiah of the vineyard wept, and said unto the servant, What could I have done more for my vineyard? Behold, I knew that all the fruit of the vineyard, save it were these, had become corrupted. And now these, which have once brought forth good fruit, have also become corrupted. And now all the trees of my vineyard are good for nothing, save it be to be hewn down and cast into the fire. Now, hold on. Okay, I'm just gonna continue to read because it's gonna explain itself. And behold, this last, whose branch has withered away, I did plant in a good spot of ground, yea, even that which was choice unto me, above all other parts of the land of my vineyard. And thou beheldest that I also cut down that which cumbered this spot of ground, that I might plant this tree in the stead thereof. And thou beheldest that a part thereof brought forth good fruit, and a part thereof brought forth wild fruit. And because I plucked not the branches thereof, and cast them to the fire, behold, they have overcome the good branch, that it hath withered away. Now, these branches thereof that were not plucked away, this is the Gentiles, okay? This is the Europeans that set themselves up in authority over us, hiding our records, hiding information, and teaching lies to the whole entire world, okay? This has caused his people to become corrupted. Even those of us that were bringing forth good fruit, we have become corrupted. One, with our diet. Everything that we've been taught is a lie. Like they done corrupted us against the Father from the time of birth, okay? So let me read that verse again. Verse 45. And thou beheldest that a part thereof brought forth good fruit, and a part thereof brought forth wild fruit. And because I plucked not the branches thereof, and cast them into the fire, behold, they have overcome the good branch, that it hath withered away. And now behold, notwithstanding all the care which we have taken of my vineyard, the trees thereof have become corrupted, that they bring forth no good fruit. And these I had hoped to preserve, to have laid up fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. But behold, they have become like unto the wild olive tree, and they are of no worth, but to be hewn down and cast into the fire. And it grieveth me that I shall lose them. But what could I have done more in my vineyard? Have I slackened my hand, that I have not nourished it? Nay, I have nourished it, and I have digged about it, and I have pruned it, and I have dunged it, and I have stretched forth mine hand almost all day. And I've stretched forth my hand almost all the day long, and the end draweth nigh, and it grieveth me that I should hew down all the trees of my vineyard, and cast them into the fire, that they should be burned. Who is it that has corrupted my vineyard? And see, we know who corrupted the vineyard, okay? Satan has deceived the whole dang world, okay? And he did it through our diet, claiming that the Most High commanded animal slaughter and the eating of his precious beloved animals. He did not. Our bodies have become graveyards, okay? Like our temples have become graveyards for his precious beloved animals that's been brutally murdered. When a person dies, they get buried in the ground, okay? But when an animal dies, you bury that in your belly, okay? It's not supposed to be in your belly. It's dead. It's a dead body, okay? Dead bodies belong in the ground, not in your gut, okay? Now I want to read verse 48. And it came to pass that the servant said unto his master, Is it not the loftiness of thy vineyard? Have not the branches thereof overcome the roots which are good? And because the branches have overcome the roots thereof, behold, they grow faster than the strength of the roots, taking strength unto themselves. Behold, I say, is this not the cause that the trees of thine vineyard have become corrupted? See, this is exactly what I just said. They set themselves up in authority over us. They hid all our records. They spread lies all over the earth. They spread lies by way of the sword. We were forced to serve and bow down to white Jesus, okay? White Jesus feeds you animals' flesh. White Jesus okays that it's all right to eat the dead bodies of his innocent creation, in which he never gave us as a food source, okay? Polluting our temples to where it sears our conscience. We don't have the ears to hear the truth, all right? And the truth have been hidden, okay? And it came to pass that Yahushua the vineyard said unto the servant, Let us go down and hew the trees of the vineyard and cast them into the fire, that they shall not cumber the ground of my vineyard. For I have done all. What could I have done more for my vineyard? But behold, the servant said unto the Messiah of the vineyard, Spare it a little longer. And Yahushua said, Yea, I will spare it a little longer, for it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore, let us take of the branches of these which I have planted in the nethermost parts of my vineyard, and let us graft them into the tree from whence they came, and let us pluck from the tree those branches whose fruit is most bitter, and graft in the natural branches of the tree in the stead thereof. Now, we're in the end, people, because this is the last time. This is the last time he's pruning his vineyard, okay? And now he's taking the natural branches that he had hidden, okay? He had hidden us. And now he's taking us that he has hidden and grafting us back into our natural tree, okay? Now, graft in the natural branches of the tree in the stead thereof. And this will I do, that the tree may not perish, that perhaps I may preserve unto myself the roots thereof for mine own purpose. Okay? And behold, the roots of the natural branches of the tree which I planted whithersoever I would are yet alive. Yeah, we're alive. He raises from the valley of the dry bones, okay? We are alive. Wherefore that I may preserve them also for mine own purpose. We are set apart for his purpose. I will take of the branches of this tree, and I will graft them in unto them. Yeah, I will graft in unto them the branches of their mother tree, that I may preserve the roots also unto mine own self, that when they shall be sufficiently strong, perhaps they may bring forth good fruit unto me, and I may yet have glory in the fruit of my vineyard. And it came to pass that they took from the natural tree which had become wild, and grafted in the natural trees which also had become wild. See, I was wild by nature, okay? Like, I grew up amongst the worst of the heathen, okay? Having no knowledge, no understanding of who I was, okay? So yeah, I was very wild, okay? And they also took of the natural trees which had become wild. This is me. They also took of the natural trees which had become wild, and grafted into their mother tree. And Yahusha of the vineyard said unto the servant, Pluck not the wild branches from the trees, save it be those which are most bitter, and in them ye shall graft according to that which I have said. Okay? And we will nourish again the trees of the vineyard, and we will trim up the branches thereof, and we will pluck from the trees those branches which are ripened that must perish, and cast them into the fire. And this I do, that perhaps the roots thereof may take strength because of their goodness, and because of the change of the branches, that the good may overcome the evil. And because that I have preserved the natural branches and the roots thereof, and that I have grafted in the natural branches again into their mother tree, and have preserved the roots of their mother tree, that perhaps the trees of my vineyard may bring forth again good fruit, and that I may have joy again in the fruit of my vineyard, and perhaps that I may rejoice exceedingly that I have preserved the roots and the branches of the first fruit. Wherefore go to and call servants, that we may labor diligently with our might in the vineyard, that we may prepare the way, that I may bring forth again the natural fruit, which natural fruit is good, and most precious above all other fruit. Wherefore let us go to and labor with our might this last time. For behold, the end draweth nigh, and this is for the last time that I shall prune my vineyard. Graft in the branches, begin at the last, that they may be first, and that the first may be last. And dig about the trees, both old and young, the first and the last and the first, that they all may be nourished once again for the last time. Wherefore dig about them, and prune them, and dug them once more for the last time, for the end draweth nigh. And if it be so, for these last grafts shall grow, and bring forth the natural fruit, then shall ye prepare the way for them, that they may grow. Now, we have been allowed to grow, and they are not going to stop us from growing, okay? They're not going to stay this true. They're not going to stay us, okay? They're not going to stop us from growing, okay? This is the last time. They're not going to stop us, okay? And as we grow, more and more of the wicked are going to be swept away. Okay, and as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. And ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft. And the graft thereof shall perish, and I lose the trees of my vineyard. For it grieveth me that I shall lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore ye shall clear away the bad according as the good shall grow, that the root and the top may be equal in strength, until the good shall overcome the bad, and the bad be hewn down and cast into the fire, that they cumber not the ground of my vineyard. And thus will I sweep away the bad out of my vineyard. Yes, the wicked are about to be swept away. Okay? You wicked people are about to be swept away. As we continue to grow, the wicked is going to be swept away. Okay? And the branches of the natural tree will I graft in again into the natural tree. And the branches of the natural tree will I graft again into the natural tree. And the branches of the natural tree will I graft into the natural branches of the tree. And thus will I bring them together again, that they shall bring forth the natural fruit, and they shall be one. Okay? Now this is true Israel. This is true Israel, the actual seed of Israel, the bloodline of Israel, okay? And the bad shall be cast away. So there's a lot of my people that just refuse to do good, bro. They're wholly corrupted, okay? And they're going to be casted away. Yeah, even out of all the land of my vineyard. For behold, only this once will I prune my vineyard. And it came to pass that Yahusha the vineyard sent his servant, and the servant went and did as Yahusha had commanded him, and brought other servants, and they were few. See, it's only few of us, okay? It's only few of us. See, first there was Dimitri. That was a servant of the Most High that did his will, okay? And I was dead at the time. I was spiritually dead because, I mean, even though I was searching for him, I was seeking and I was searching for the Father, for the true Father, okay? And I had went back and began rereading the Bible from the beginning, and as a child, you know, inquiring these questions that I had, you know, came across, I hadn't talked about this before, came across, Earthman, I keep forgetting, I think his, YouTube channel is Children of Light or something like that, and, I couldn't receive. I mean, like I did receive it, but I didn't change anything. Like it sat, you know, on the shelf because he was going through other books and not the Bible. And as I stated before, I was under the impression that the Bible was my foundation, that the Bible was the foundation that I stand upon. That it is the sword of the Spirit, and if anything is contradicting the Bible, then, you know, it must be, you know, questioned, you know, with scrutiny. Like, you know, like, why are you coming against the foundation? You know, we gotta have a foundation, you know. And so I had to be retaught by the Spirit that is not the Bible that is our foundation. It is the Holy Spirit that should be our foundation. And that which lives within us, that, you know, his true word that's been written upon our hearts is our foundation. Okay? And the Bible is to be used to bring forth confirmation. Okay? By 2 or 3 witnesses, we are to find confirmation for that which he wrote on our heart, in our inner parts, okay? What he wrote on our spirit, okay? This will line up with things that are written in the Bible. But we are not to freaking use the Bible as a foundation, because these Gentiles have had their grubby hands in our records, and they have corrupted many things, okay? So the Bible cannot possibly be the foundation. So I came across Dimitri, and Dimitri was a laborer, okay, in the vineyard. He was a laborer, and he was able to light my candle, okay, with the truth of the Most High, as he went throughout the Bible and showed that it was against him. Animal sacrifices was against him, and he never gave us the animals to eat as a food source. Then I was able to receive it. Okay, I was able to receive it because he showed me within the pages of that Bible that it never came from the Father. Okay, so I had no more excuse, and I was able to receive it in fullness at that point. And that's when I began to grow, like tremendously. I began to grow in the spirit. And now I'm here being a laborer in his vineyard to help light others, okay? And they are not going to stop us. They're not going to stop us, okay? And we are few. We are few, but they're not going to stop us, okay? And Yahusha of the vineyard said unto them, go to and labor in the vineyard with your might. See, I have been called of him to go and labor in the vineyard with all my might. Like, I ain't got time to freaking earn income, okay? He's gonna take care of me because he called me to work in his vineyard with all of my might. I am to use all my time, energy, and effort for his work, for his will. I am to do his will upon the earth. Go and labor in the vineyard. I am working. I am laboring. Though it's without physical pay right now, the Father is going to take care of me. And I believe that with my whole heart, mind, and soul, okay? Go to and labor in the vineyard with your might. For behold, this is the last time that I shall nourish my vineyard. For the end is nigh at hand, and the season speedily cometh. And if ye labor with your might with me, ye shall have joy in the fruit which I shall lay up unto myself against the time which will soon come. Oh my gosh, bro. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. I love this. I love this. I love this. I love this. Okay. Go to and labor in the vineyard with your might. For behold, this is the last time that I shall nourish my vineyard. For the end is nigh at hand, and the season speedily cometh. And if you labor with your might with me, you shall have joy in the fruit which I shall lay up unto myself against the time which will soon come. And it came to pass that the servants did go and labor with their mights, and Yahusha of the vineyard labored also with him, and they did obey the commandments of Yahusha of the vineyard in all things. And there began to be the natural fruit again in the vineyard, and the natural branches began to grow and thrive exceedingly. And there began to be the natural fruit again in the vineyard, and the natural branches began to grow and thrive exceedingly, and the wild branches began to be plucked off and to be cast away, and they did keep the root and the top thereof equal according to the strength thereof. And thus they labored with all diligence according to the commandments of Yahusha of the vineyard, even until the bad had been cast away out of the vineyard. And Yahusha had preserved unto himself that the trees had become again the natural fruit. And Yahusha had preserved unto himself that the trees have become again the natural fruit, and they became like unto one body, and the fruits were equal. And Yahusha of the vineyard had preserved unto himself the natural fruit, which was most precious unto him from the beginning. And it came to pass that when Yahusha of the vineyard saw that his fruit was good, and that his his vineyard was no more corrupt, he called up his servants and said unto them, Behold, for this last time have we nourished my vineyard, and thou beholdest that I have done according to my will, and I have preserved the natural fruit, that it is good, even like as it was in the beginning. And blessed art thou, for because ye have been diligent in laboring with me in my vineyard, and have kept my commandments, and have brought unto me again the natural fruit, that my vineyard is no more corrupted, and the bad is cast away. Behold, ye have joy with me because of the fruit of my vineyard. For behold, for a long time will I lay up the fruit of my vineyard unto my own self against the season which speedily cometh. And for the last time have I nourished my vineyard, and pruned it, and dug about it, and dunged it. Wherefore I will lay up mine own self of the fruit for a long time, according to that which I have spoken. This connects to the fact that we are going to be divinely protected. Okay, we are going to be divinely protected under his wing as the world is purged, as the wicked get swept away. Okay, and when the time cometh that the evil fruit shall again come into my vineyard. See, the wicked is going to be swept off our lands. Okay, the wicked is going to be swept off our lands, and they're going to come try to take a spoil again. After they get swept off our lands, they're going to try to take a spoil again. And when they do, oh, look out when they do, because and when the time cometh that the evil fruit shall again come into my vineyard, and when I will cause the good and the bad to be gathered, then I will cause, like, once they do this, once they come try to take a spoil again, because see, we're gonna be at peace before the Messiah comes back. Okay, before the Messiah comes back, before the Messiah cracks that sky, we are going to have our land. Okay, we're going to have our land. We're going to be at peace in our land. Okay, and when the time cometh that the evil fruit, that evil fruit shall again come into my vineyard, then will I cause the good and bad to be gathered, and the good will I preserve unto myself, and the bad will I cast away into its own place. And then cometh the season and the end, and my vineyard will I cause to be burned with fire. See, we're going to be divinely protected, okay? And even while the wicked is being swept away off our lands, we are going to be protected. But we're going to see a lot of death. We're going to see a lot of things happen. Like, we're in the time to where we're about to see a lot of people die, okay? We've already been seeing it. But it's going to increase, and we're like it said, 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Okay, we're going to see a lot of people die. All right, because the wicked are about to be swept away. It has to happen. Going on to chapter 6. All right. Yahushua will recover Israel in the last days. The world will be burned with fire. Men must follow the Messiah to avoid the lake of fire and brimstone. Okay, now this is a metaphor. It's not a real lake of fire. Okay, it's gonna be according to your deeds and the things that you have done. You have to be purged. Okay, and now, behold, my brethren, as I have said unto you, that I will prophesy. Behold, this is my prophecy, that the things which this prophet Zeno spake concerning the house of Israel, in the which he likened them unto a tame olive tree, must surely come to pass. Okay? Olive tree, fig tree, same thing basically. All right. And the day that he shall set his hand again the second time to recover his people, as the day, even the last time, that the servants of Yahushua shall go forth in his power to nourish and prune his vineyard. And after that, the end soon cometh. Okay. And now blessed are they who have labored diligently in his vineyard, and how cursed are they who shall be cast out into their own place, and the world shall be burned with fire. And now Merciful is our power unto us, for he remembereth the house of Israel, both roots and branches, and he stretches forth his hands unto them all the day long. And they are a stiff-necked and gainsaying people, but as many as will not harden their hearts shall be saved in the kingdom of the Most High. See, my people, you cannot harden your heart. If you harden your heart, you will be casted into outer darkness, okay? And I don't want that for you. So harden not your heart, my stiff-necked people. Become not stiff-necked. Have the ears to hear. Don't harden your heart against the true word of the Most High. Leave off eating dead animals, because he never gave this to us as a food source, okay? Now, I done come out with many videos breaking down how this never came from the Father, and how this is the transgression that caused Israel to go into captivity, okay? Animal sacrifice was the transgression that caused our people to be put into captivity for all of this time, okay? Now, there's so many Hebrew channels out here, and most of them are missing the freaking mark, okay? Most of them are missing the mark, because they want to talk about how, we walked in the councils of our own imagination, and we went out to strange gods, and we worship idols and all of this, but they still missing the mark. They still cannot make the connection that it was the sacrificing of his innocent creation that caused our asses to be put into captivity, okay? They're still eating dead animals. They still talking about keeping Passover and eating lamb, okay? It's so many of them out here. So many of them out here, and they are missing the mark, and they're leading many people astray, okay? But I am one of the ones that had the ears to hear the good shepherd, and I'm doing what he has led me to do, okay? And I'm telling you that our transgression that caused us to go into captivity was the sacrificing of his innocent creation and the eating of their slain flesh, okay? He never gave us dead bodies to eat. Alright, in the beginning, he gave us the fruit of the trees and the herbs and the seeds for food. Okay, there is no other lawful substance for us to eat. Alright, we are not to be eating his innocent animals. Okay, our bodies are not graveyards. Alright, quit eating animals because he never gave it to us. Alright. Quit fornication. Stop fornicating, okay? Be pure before the eyes of the Creator, okay? To the best of your ability, do your best to be pure before the eyes of your Maker, so that you are able to be spared the destruction that is coming upon this earth, okay? And now, how merciful is our power unto us, for he remembereth the house of Israel, both roots and branches, and he stretches forth his hands unto them all the day long. And they are a stiff-necked and a gainsaying people, but as many as will not harden their hearts shall be saved in the kingdom of the Most High. Wherefore, my beloved brethren, I beseech of you in words of soberness, that ye would repent and come with full purpose of heart, and cleave unto the Most High as he cleaveth unto you, and while his arm of mercy is extended toward you in the light of the day. Harden not your hearts. Harden not your hearts. Yeah, today, if you will hear his voice, harden not your hearts, for why will you die? For behold, after ye have been nourished by the good word of the Most High all the day long, will you bring forth evil fruit, that ye must be hewn down and cast into the fire? Behold, will you reject these words? Will you reject the words of the prophets? And will you reject all the words which have been spoken concerning the Messiah, after so many have spoken concerning him, and deny the good word of the Messiah, and the power of the Most High, and the gift of the Holy Spirit, and quench the Holy Spirit, and make a mock of the great plan of redemption which has been laid for you? There's so many of these brews out here rejecting the Messiah. You got channels like Little Mariah, okay? Now the young brother brings out a lot of truth according to like where our lands are, okay? He understands where our lands are. He understands that America is the promised land, but he rejecting the Messiah and he leading so many people astray, okay? As he continues to eat dead animals and talking about how Leviticus and all of that is the law of the Most High. Yeah, and he rejects the Messiah, okay? So I can't watch too much of him, though I can still gather some good information from his channel. There's so much corruption on his channel because he just don't got the ears to hear that the whole Bible is not the absolute word of the Most High. You're following laws of men as you telling people that it's okay to eat so-called meat. No, it's not okay to eat dead flesh. Meat is that which grows from the earth, okay? And then you got other channels like Dante Fortson, okay? And like I said, you know, these channels, they bring forth a lot of truth, but they don't have the ears to hear when it comes to the aspect that the whole Bible is not the infallible word of the Most High. This dude literally said that Leviticus was the law of the Most High, was a law of God. No, it's not, bruh. It's contradicting what the Father said in the beginning. It's contradicting his commandments, his 10 commandments, when he said, thou shalt not kill. Love your neighbor as you do yourself. You know, like it goes against his 10 commandments, bruh. So if it's going against his 10 commandments, then there is something wrong, okay? Do you not have the ears to hear the good shepherd? Do you not have the ears to hear the true word of the Most High? That book is not his word, okay? His word lives within you. His word comes by way of the Holy Spirit, okay? Now, know ye not that if you will do these things, that the power of the redemption and the resurrection which is in the Messiah will bring you to stand with shame and awful guilt before the bar of the Most High? Don't you understand that? Don't you understand that you are going to be humbled one way or another? Either you humble yourself or you will be humbled, okay? Humble yourself or you will be humbled, okay? And according to the power of justice, for justice cannot be denied, ye must go away into that lake of fire and brimstone, whose flames are unquenchable, and whose smoke ascendeth up forever and ever, which lake of fire and brimstone is endless torment. Okay? Now this is not literal. You are going to be burned with the fire of your own transgressions, okay? The things that you have transgressed against the Father with is going to torment you, okay? Oh, then, my beloved brethren, repent ye and enter in at the strait gate, and continue in the way which is narrow, until ye shall obtain eternal life. Okay, there's so many of these Hebrew channels out here, bruh. All right, you got Aliel, you got freaking Big Judah, and a lot of them, they bringing forth a lot of truth. Okay, they bring forth a lot of truth. Let me emphasize the fact that they are bringing forth some truth. Okay, but they are missing the mark on the true law of the Father, and the fact that he never commanded animal sacrifice, and that it is the transgression that we went into captivity for. They're all missing the mark on that, okay? They're all missing the mark. They all think that it's okay to eat so-called meat. They refer to dead flesh and blood as meat, okay? Because they have been corrupted, and they don't understand that it never came from the Father, and they're rejecting his word by way of the Spirit to hold on to written words and pages of books. Okay, they put that book on a pedestal. That book has become their idol. Okay, it's an idol. They idolize that book. All right, and their belly has also become an idol. They idolize their belly as they lust after the flesh and blood of the Father's innocent creation. Now, I am not trying to talk down and bad on my brothers, but I am here to tell the truth, okay? These channels have thousands of freaking subscribers, okay? I have 120 as of today, as I looked and seen that my subscribers grew by 4 in a day, okay? Like, out of nowhere, it went from 116 to 120, okay? And I'm not here for subscribers. I'm not here to grow my subscriber list, okay? But it is going to happen as the Father leads who he wants to his channels, okay? Because this ain't for me. This is for the Father. I am laboring in the vineyard as I was called to do his will. Okay? This is not my will. Well, my will is to do his will. Okay? So in a way it is my will, because my will is his will. Okay? I long to do his will upon the earth. Okay? And in doing his will upon the earth, he is going to lead his people where he wants them to be. Okay? My channel is here to feed the flock. Okay? Because our people have been malnourished. Okay? We've been malnourished. And he has called Elder Dimitri, and there's other channels that I can grow from. What's the brother's name? I can't think of his name right now. But he's another one, even though he doesn't have the whole truth either, because he under the impression that, you know, what is it that he was under the impression? It was something that I completely, he was talking down on all homosexuals and homosexuality and all this and that. Also, he seems to think that because you're born with a penis, you're automatically a leader. You're automatically to lead the Father's people. Bruh, the Father is not a respecter of person. He can use male or female to bring about his word, okay? You don't have to be born with a penis in order to have the ears to hear and to labor in his vineyard. That's ridiculous. It's asinine. It's asinine as hell, you know, like, bruh. And like he talks down a lot on transgender people, homosexuals, but bro, you don't have any idea how these people really truly live their life. You going based upon what you've heard all your life. You're going based upon, you know, what you've been taught all your life, you know, but the Father has his portion, and some of them identify as transgendered, okay? That don't make them wicked. It don't make me wicked just because I identify as transgender, you know? It's what I do with my life. How do I live my life upon this earth? Am I living my life in wickedness just because I identify as transgender? No, I'm not. I'm doing his will upon the earth. But I know that I'm not, you know, every other female born upon this earth. One, my voice is hella deep. Most people wouldn't even know that I'm a female unless I tell you. Okay? But I'm way different, and I've always been different from the time of birth. Okay? I've been different. Alright? I came out the womb different. Okay? And so I had to understand and learn that, look, I need to be pure. I need to not be engaging in sexual activity, so I've been celibate for over a year now. And I've repented for, all of the things that I've done in ignorance, and even the things that I've done knowingly. Who are you to try to sit there and, damn people to hell? You don't know their life circumstances. You don't know whether they have repented, and just because these are titles: transgender, gay, lesbian. These are man-made titles, okay? It has no bearing upon, how the Father views you, okay? No bearing whatsoever. So what that I call myself transgender? So what, how I identify? It has no bearing whatsoever. What matters is how I live my life, okay? But you people want to put all the emphasis upon the outer package and upon these stigmas and these labels, like as if it holds emphasis, as if it holds water outside of this trivial reality, outside of this trivial ass world, okay? It has no bearing whatsoever, on spiritual matters, okay? None whatsoever. Your man-made titles don't matter, okay? Now, I forget the brother's name. I don't really want to call him out anyway, so I guess it's a good thing that I can't remember his name off the top of my head. But yeah, this brother, I could grow a lot from his channel because he be bringing, the truth by way of the Spirit, but at the same time, he holding on to doctrines of men. Okay, there's very few channels out there that is bringing 100% the truth of the Father, without any freaking poison, okay? Bruh, I don't agree with everything he says either, because he's under the impression that you need to protect yourself with weapons, and look, I'm not trying to tear nobody down. It's just I understand that our weapons of war is not carnal, okay? I don't own no gun. I've never owned a gun, and I don't intend on ever owning a gun. I don't own no weapons, because I understand that if I live my life in a righteous manner and I am obedient to my Maker, can't no wicked person take me off this earth when he has his hand of protection over me, okay? I am not afraid, okay? Only people that are afraid feel the need to carry a weapon. You carry a weapon because you are afraid that somebody is going to take your life or the life of your family member, okay? But I don't walk in fear, okay? I don't walk in fear. I walk in the power and the authority that has been given to me by the Most High. Alright, now let me go ahead and finish this up. Alright? Oh, be wise. What can I say more? Finally, I bid you farewell, until I shall meet you before the pleasing bar of the Most High, which bar striketh the wicked with awful dread and fear. Okay? Now, I'm going to end it on that note. Shalom.